how does the cloud see itself? We can actually learn a lot by examining a pretty strange genre of photography: data center promotional pictures. You've seen these before, right? Long halls of server racks lit up with some kind of cool neon lighting, maybe some close-ups of wires as a treat for the real connoisseurs. A running theme you may have noticed is that there's never any people in them. And that is weird. As I've mentioned, it's pretty well documented that data centers tend to have shockingly few full-time employees once they're up and running, and there is plenty of talk in the industry of eventually getting to so-called lights-out facilities that are essentially fully automated, but they absolutely need technicians to keep these things running. So where are they? Apparently, the answer is just out of frame. In a paper called The Data Center as Technological Wilderness, A.R.E. Taylor interviewed a data center photographer who explained, most data center briefs specify that they don't want their workers in the photographs. If you've got a nice photo of a sci-fi looking space, you don't want some bloke there fixing a server in his jeans. The reason for this is, as George Bursey, the owner of a UK cloud service provider called Secura, explained to Taylor, simple, really. The top cause of data center downtime is human error, so the less human these buildings can be made to look, the more safe and secure they appear. Interestingly though, there's actually a long history of these kinds of images, pristine landscapes completely uncorrupted by the presence of humans. As Taylor points out, while beautiful, these representations of America have long been criticized for the way they smuggle in the colonial idea of the land being empty prior to the arrival of European settlers, and also that humans aren't a part of nature at all. In Empire of AI, Karen Howe argues that the best metaphor to understand the AI industry through is, unsurprisingly, empire, in that, just like the empires of old, the AI industry operates by exploiting the subjugated labor of some of the poorest in the world in the name of resource extraction, all of which and more is justified through competition with other companies and foreign powers. And so, it's pretty fitting that the industry has also produced its own genre of images depicting idyllic landscapes untouched by humans, but rather than a natural environment, they instead show what Taylor calls a technological wilderness, uninhabited jungles with server farm trees and wire vines under an RGB sky. This gets even weirder though. As I was going through the entries on datacenter.com, I noticed something strange. It turns out that very few data centers are making pictures of techno-dystopian landscapes the old-fashioned way anymore. Instead, the data center industry has embraced AI. Unbelievable! I am boycotting blockchain digital infrastructure until they start hiring human photographers again. Who's with me? Well, this, of course, isn't a surprising development. These are very, very weird in a way that only pictures that were likely never meant to be seen by a human being can be. By far, the most common style of picture you see are these exterior shots of futuristic buildings like this one from AT Tokyo, which is apparently made entirely out of air conditioners. Also, interestingly, a lot of the older man-made promotional pictures try to make data centers look environmentally friendly by showing them in a big green field or something. These AI ones go a very different direction and instead seem to lean into how much electricity they use, depicting themselves as being surrounded by power lines, industrial cooling units, oil rigs, and glowing blue with electrical energy, often so much so that electricity and/or the internet is seen exploding out of the roof. And look, obviously it's not a surprise that the people making data centers are happy to use AI slop, but to me, there's something unsettling about these pictures. It's tempting to anthropomorphize AI here and think of these pictures as a sort of self-portrait, glimpses into how the cloud wants to be seen. I prompted Gemini to make a picture of itself, and unsurprisingly, the result wouldn't be out of place in these promotional pictures. But I think the better way to look at this is as a continuation of the older promotional pictures, where the goal was to keep any evidence of human workers hidden out of the frame. That erasure has expanded now to the point where they don't even need a photographer at all.